So to continue with the story after the relapses, the breakdowns of yesterday, and was it also the day before yesterday, with talk about President Caligula, who falls down with a virus at the hospital. As Chris Rock says, my sympathy is with the virus. Chris Rock, yeah. Donald Trump is down with the virus at the hospital. My sympathy is with the virus. I think that was the line. Funny. Well, it's since I make a detour like always. Let me say also what else was interesting. I thought funny. Yeah, he commented on the idea that they for the president to be one to be a candidate and eventually a president, they only have to be about over 35 and born in America. But that sounds stupid, and it is, or silly. I don't know what word he used. In that he gives the example of the cook. If there's a cook that makes you hire him and makes you vomit every day, you don't say, well, he has a 4-year contract, so we will go along with that. You fire him. Well, that was meant to refer to this American Ceausescu. Why American Ceausescu? Because both of them are complete idiots. Well, one is dead. Well, by this time, who knows? Maybe there was a drop in the oxygen level, and they're both dead. Shall I say, inshallah? Well, I mean, I mentioned that. Why offer sympathy and wish him well when his well-being is the means the death of so many? Because he encourages so many not to wear masks, to spread this virus, and many times. So, in other words, his life against the life of others. Well, anyway. And both with dictatorial aspirations. The one taken down by the Hawks, as he called it, has not reached that level yet, but he's trying. Keeps saying 16 years and so on for him to be president. So anyway, let's make an effort and try and move back to 1990. I was talking last time, maybe Friday, about the Black Sea and the car. The car was attacked by a fool, a lunatic, a pervert, it's most likely, who knew that people are tempted by that area. I didn't realize when we went there and had sex. Me and this girl from Transylvania, let's leave it at that. She was from Resita, somehow I remember. And she was spectacular, as I recall it. Alas, it didn't. This thing, and well, it was true. We were there only for the holidays, and I wasn't about to settle down. She probably wasn't also. But otherwise, and we were far. Yeah, with her in Bucharest, who knows? She was special. So anyway, we had a terrible wind chill. You could hardly see something in some corners, some places. But then I also remember how monstrous, stupid, and I don't know, brutish the police was. Because what happened was this: I parked the car in Costinești after this thing. We went back to Costinești from Mamaia, where we were visiting friends, and I went for a fucking party. Why do I hesitate to use the word? And attacked by the sky, destroyed the windshield, kicked a little bit on the side too. Even if it's not then that I had once to use to change the one side window, but that was because somebody broke in and stolen the stereo. I wasn't this time, and I had a plastic one until the spare part would be available. They didn't have anything you wanted then. You had to wait to look for it. And then I also remember in one of our trips to Germany, because I will have to speak about that too. We went a few times in that period to Germany to make some money, to bring things from there and sell them at a profit with a markup. Importing guys. So it was difficult to drive, but we had to go back the next day for the police to sign more papers. I don't know. We had to. We were called and we had to, even if they didn't even. They weren't anywhere near finding anybody. It wasn't even likely. I don't know. It was 1 in 10 they've caught. But overnight, I parked the car in a no parking area. That's true. Closer to lights, closer to the mini hotel where we were staying. I don't know, but an area that was safer, with the idea that if the car was vulnerable. I mean, somebody could see, oh, there's a windshield of thief. I just press this thing down, and then I steal the car. Or I don't know. There wasn't anything in it, I think, at that time to steal. Maybe we had a stereo that would be taken out, and we took it out for the night. That's what happened for a long time. But then initially it was something which was inserted, and somehow the guy just knocked the place down around it and extracted something which was embedded somehow, but still with destruction. The thief with the student park. Student park was a place where I went to try and talk with girls. I mentioned in previous episodes. I don't know, 2 of 10, 1 in 5, 1 in 10 talked. Then 1 in 10, 1 in 20, I don't know, of those who talked would go on to accept the premise and say, okay, let's get serious. Let's have sex. I mentioned the spiel, the text, the seducing technique, so to say, I used, which was not something sophisticated, rudimentary. Anyway, it was, can we talk? Unless there was something like with Miss Romania that would come later, when there was a dog from one point, and that he was oh, how cute, or something, oh, what a nice dog, or how old is he, or something. So the other party would enter the conversation, and from there on it would be not easy. I mean, they would very often still say, no, I was just asking about the dog, I don't want to talk to you. But small percentage, I mentioned, maybe even smaller, I don't know, doesn't matter, would talk, and then a smaller percentage of those who talk would agree to share the bed. Or no, there were some cases when, for instance, the student park, I know 3, 4, 5, maybe as many as 10 times, we just went in the locker room. I mean, there were not locker rooms as we know them at the spa, at clubs, men and women, or no, these were locker rooms, just small rooms, not even 1 square meter, where people would go in just to change, to take off the street clothes and come out in swimsuits, because this was a place for sunbathing and a swim, even if that lake was dirty, really. But that was the idea. And we would both go in, and instead of going all the way home, which happened most of the time. I mean, I wasn't really always homeless, doing it on the street or, well, in the locker room, but that would present an advantage. Returning. So during the night, as I left the car in a no parking zone, but it was evident that the car was in a terrible shape. So what the police did, to add insult to injury, they placed, I don't know, 10 papers glued to the windshield with, you parked in a no parking zone or something like that, so that a very bad situation was made even worse. I mean, it was made almost impossible. We had to scratch. It was very difficult. It was meant. So the idea, in a way, maybe makes sense to cause trouble for those who themselves cause trouble by parking in, I don't know, in no parking areas. But this was something else. I think it was evident that this is a car which was, as I said, special. So, and when you do this to this windshield, you torture those people. It was like torture the next day to try and scratch that without kicking the windshield in, and to allow some visibility for the. Well, that was, well, both a wonderful day, because up to the point where the lunatic came, it was extraordinary. It was a glorious afternoon, and a disastrous evening.